Namaste. This is Teresa Braun, spiritual consultant at Saosis Mystery School. If you like this video, please hit like, please hit subscribe, please make a comment, all those wonderful things to beef up the algorithms. I'm still learning about all this stuff. This is all new to me. I'm the phone generation. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about discernment. And for those of you that are seeing this and know me, you know that I talk a lot, and even more, a lot about boundaries and the difference between you and somebody else, the difference between your energy and someone else, your uniqueness and someone else, and having boundaries as a way of holding yourself in a way so that you are always in your own space, in your own truth, in your own awareness, and not losing it with other people or not merging with other people or taking on energy from other people. So I've worked a lot with boundaries with people. And so boundaries are there. And certainly the more we start the work, the spiritual work, we need the boundaries to hold ourselves in a way to really learn and know who we are. One of the first tenets of spirituality is know thyself. And so boundaries support that. They help that. But then as we move further onto the spiritual path, especially as we move up the initiatory levels to the heart level, where we become more of a soul-infused personality, and we're becoming from a soul level with things, we need to move into discernment. Discernment is just more finely tuned than a boundary. Discernment is much more the ability to perceive right, wrong, the polarities, good, evil, truth, lie, all of that. And boundaries can do that too, but the discernment is much more finely tuned, more discriminating in a way, and I mean that word in a good way, to really understand what is going on. Discernment is the ability to judge well, okay, or to judge what is in accordance with your truth, or what is truth for you. Discernment, you look at many small details, okay? You look at the primary and the secondary. With discernment, you really need to get to the heart of the matter. It's not just that there's differences. What are the differences? How specific are the differences? How aware are we of the differences? What's the alignment? As we get higher and higher in our development on the spiritual path, as we go up through our initiatory cycle, we have to be more and more accurate. We have to be more and more in alignment with truth. And I say we have to hit the nail on the head. Close doesn't count. We've got to get more and more specific, more and more exacting, more and more understanding of the minuscule differences of things. Discernment is that. Discernment is peeling away the outer layers and levels of what we are looking at, person, place, or thing, and to get to the heart of the matter, to get to what is really the essence of things. Just like we need to be able to discern our own essence in our lives and what is essentially important to you, to discern that wherever you're at, whatever choice you're making, whatever direction you're going, whatever you are trying to manifest, okay? All of that gets more and more specific and clear and needs to be more and more on point. Discernment is what takes us to that. I always think of the image of the scalpel of discernment, cutting away. It may be truth that you're cutting away, but we're getting to a deeper truth. Discernment helps you get to the deepest truth. And you can keep doing discernment over and over with the same thing to get clearer and clearer about it. And this is true in our own inner healing, in our own spiritual work that we are doing, okay? We need to really listen to our inner voice for discernment. You need to really connect fully with your inner voice, letting go of the critical voice, which puts us into our ego strategy, but come into the inner voice, which is our soul speaking and connecting to us as a body and a personality. That is the place that discernment comes from, okay? It comes from wisdom. It's being able to make wise decisions. It's being able to acknowledge the depth. It's training our minds, if you will, to be that clear. to be that specific, to be that articulating, to be that in truth, to be able to, again, understand the minuscule or the small differences between things. Many people that are more scientific do this a lot in certain ways, okay? Spiritual people need to do this. People that are working on their spiritual path need to do this so that they can become more and more pure, so they become more and more refined, so they can be more and more on point, on focus, so that they can be more and more clear. So when they are expressing something, they know they are expressing the depth and the breadth of it from a very high level. And that is what discerning does. It takes us into higher and higher levels of self, higher and higher levels of our spiritual path, higher levels of our way of relating, responding, being, communicating with others. Okay? It's not just taking it all in. It's taking it all and looking at it all and discerning what is the most important thing to be responding to. Sometimes that might not be the deepest truth that you know about something, but it might be the right response for the person that you are speaking to. So discernment has to do with appropriateness as well in terms of your external expression of it. And so that is important to understand, that we can be in our truth and still say a partial truth or say something that's maybe not the deepest truth we know in terms of meeting and working with or communicating with somebody else, okay? Discernment, in developing discernment, we need to have the patience to undergo the training that our mind needs to have to allow spirit to come through, to allow our soul to come through, our inner voice, to find what we are discerning. Okay? Many people are trying to experience something, talk about something, express an experience, and they just kind of plop out words around it. Discernment helps you find the right way of expressing who you are and your truth, the right way to relate, to interact, to communicate, to speak, to heal. For those healers among you, we have to be able to discern the truth of a person that we are working with. We have to be able to discern where the issue is, or where the causal level is, or where the synchronistic level that is going on with this person is. We have to be able to take in all the symptoms and discern what is the energetic cause. And this is not something that just often plops on you. You have to train yourself to go deeper and deeper into more and more and more into truth of either yourself with your self-healing or other people when you are healing. Discernment. Be discerning. Be a discerning person in every part of your life, in terms of your practice, in terms of your health, in terms of your family, in terms of your home, in terms of your work, in terms of everything. Be discerning so that you can know what's most important to you. What is the highest truth in any of those things that you wish to relate to or respond to? Okay? It's the ability to make decisions out of very difficult situations or complex situations or confusing situations. Discernment cuts away confusion. It cuts it away. It scalpels it right down to the core. And that is what we need to be coming from, especially as the kundalini moves into the fifth initiation, the resurrection, the authentic part of ourselves. We have to begin to develop discernment in order to be able to come into our own authority, our own authenticity as to who we are. Discernment is a very higher level, of boundaries. It comes from the soul. Boundaries are more about your psychological level, your psychology, and your physical body, and your emotions. And so that is important to understand. Most people have not developed good boundaries. And when I work with them, we have to go back and begin to work with boundaries so that they can move into a higher place of discernment. And that's discernment of the path, that's discernment of the information, that's discernment of the people that you are learning from, that is a discernment of the kind of spirit that you are working with. It's discernment on all these very high levels that most people don't think about. They just think they have a guide. Well, who's your guide, and what are they here to help you with, and what do they want you to know, and how do they work with you? There's a lot of ways of discerning our relationships on any dimension, on any levels, that we just kind of take for granted, or we don't try to articulate more deeply what it is or what it is for us. Okay, discernment kind of helps you put your stamp on it. It puts your attention there. It puts your essence there. It puts truly who you are there in terms of the relationship with anything. Okay, that you are something feel like truth to you. When does it feel like truth? How do you respond when you are hearing truth? How do you respond when you are hearing a lie? How do you discern the difference between the two? Again, your inner voice. But it might also be really listening to the vibration, to the sound, to the tone. It might be also feeling, okay, feeling how that feels in your body, and how when it's truth, you relax, okay? Any truth, even a difficult truth, there's a relaxation to it because it's true. When it's a lie, there's a tightness, there's a contraction that occurs in you. And so you can use some of these ways to practice and discern and see how you are responding to what you are getting as you make discernment, and as you make decisions, as you make judgments, as you make responses to all things in your life. And so it is important to think of yourself as a discerning person. It's not only do you feel what's better or worse, it's what is better and better, and what is better and better and better, and what's the best, okay? Discerning people I know often have the best of everything. They may not have much, but they have the best of everything. It's very interesting to see that level of alignment with them, with their material possessions, okay? And so it's like the minimalist. It's like, you only are going to have one thing, so you get the right one thing. That's like discernment. Let's get the right one thing for us. Let's get the truth for us. Let's get the truth that is being spoken and shared. Let us not take in the lie. Let us not take in second, third, or fourth best. Okay? We need to shoot for a higher consciousness. And discernment is one of the ways that can get you there. It is one of the ways that takes us into the higher vibrations. The discernment, as you're going through initiatory levels, is what helps you finish one and move on to the other. And to understand that the initiations that we undergo, there's aspects of our life in every initiation. And even after we go through the initiation, there will be those aspects in our life as well. With the discernment that you have it good enough, that you have it the best you can do for now, that you have understood it on a high level, is what's important. And that helps you move on to the next initiation, okay? You begin to relate to, okay, the higher level that your soul is demanding of you, that your soul is wanting you to come into. And discernment is a powerful, powerful tool in that process. So play with it, practice it. Oh, this feels true. What part of this feels true? What part of this is the best? What aspect of this is the one that is right for me? There can be lots of truth out there, but we need to acknowledge what's right for us. There can be lots of lies out there, and we need to acknowledge that that is what is happening. And so it's important always to be discerning. The more you are discerning with another, family member, friend, client, okay, the more they feel seen, the more they feel heard, the more they feel understood as you go deeper and deeper with your qualities of discernment of what is their truth or what is right for them, and support them in that. That is a very powerful connection that we can give to each other. And I hope that you will begin to do that more. So play with discernment. Start small, work up, play with, okay, you have your boundaries, you have an idea of who you are. Let's get more specific. Let's get more accurate. Let's get more fine-tuned. Let us begin to have our boundaries with a high level of finesse, a high level of wisdom, a high level that will take you into the higher dimensions in any experience, as well as being here on the earth plane. So let yourself discern. Be a discerning person. I encourage you. If you have any questions about it, come see me. We can look more at your level of discernment in your life and what needs to occur so that you can develop it more. And that is important to do. Some people think that if you're psychic or you're spiritual, it just is. There's a high level of learning and training and practicing that goes into the development of yourself psychically and the development of yourself spiritually. Okay? Some people have more of an affinity with it than others. Some people are here more connected to those things than others. But even for them, they need to practice. They need the discernment of how to come into their gifts and abilities and how to use them. That's true on the spiritual path. That's true with any creative expression that you may do. So allow yourself to find that out within yourself. Be discerning about who you are. Namaste.